Hey there, shiny happy peeps. Welcome to my channel. My name is Tamara Keel. I'm going to be giving you some tips today on mastering the 75 hard challenge. If you never heard of the 75 hard challenge, I'm going to break it down for you. Basically, it's a 75-day mental toughness challenge with physical components in it. And it just has a series of tasks that you have to complete every single day for 75 days. If you miss one, you gotta start over again. So task number one is to complete 2 45-minute workouts every single day. And they have to be separate. It can't be 1 hour-and-a-half long session. In one of those 2 workouts, you have to do it outside. Even if it's raining, even if it's cold, even if it's snowing, even if it's really hot, the only exception is if the weather's dangerous, like a hurricane or it's lightning or something like that. Next task, you just gotta drink a gallon of water every day, easy enough. Third task is diet. So it doesn't really specify what diet you should follow, it just says it has to be performance-based and it can't be one of those diets where you can work in junk food. And you can't cheat on it for 75 days. Next task, no alcohol for 75 days. I know that's a hard one for a lot of people. It really makes them decide not to do it, but you know what? 75 days, not that long really. Next task is you have to read 10 pages out of a nonfiction book, and it has to be like self-help, self-growth, like learning. It could be like a history book, but it's gotta be something that's like kind of improving you. And that was really hard for me because I'm a fiction girl and I'm an audiobook girl, and you gotta actually read and it's gotta be self-help. Next task, the hardest one, which is gonna sound crazy, the one that everybody forgets, the one that sets everybody back, the one that set me back and made me have to restart, is you have to take a progress picture every day. Sounds easy enough? It's also really easy to forget. So I am 53 days into this challenge, and I'm gonna share with you some of the stuff that I would have liked to know before I started. All right, guys, so we're gonna start with the thing that I know the most about, the fitness part. So if you don't know already, I've spent the last 15 years in the fitness industry. I've also owned and operated my own gym for the past 10. So this is kind of like where I'm an expert. We're gonna call this tip, don't train like an asshole. And it doesn't mean like you're being an asshole or whatever. It means that you're being an asshole to your body, which means that even though this is like a hard challenge, we still have to do smart training, and we can't do the kind of training that's gonna like crush us or make us injured, because if that happens, then we're never gonna finish the challenge in the first place. So a lot of people approach this in not the right way. They think, oh, this is hard. I gotta go hard every day, twice a day for 7 days a week. No. So we have 14 total sessions in a week. So we're gonna break down those sessions to either active recovery sessions, or we're gonna break them down into intense sessions. So my recommendation, no matter what level you're at, I really wouldn't do more than 8 intense sessions a week. And we're gonna talk about a little bit, if you're a beginner, like what that should look like too, which means 6 of your sessions, at least 6 of your sessions are going to be active recovery, and at the most, 8 of your sessions are gonna be intense. So the way I label that is those intense sessions are gonna be like your CrossFit, your spin classes, your bodybuilding, your hard bodybuilding sessions, your hard powerlifting sessions, weightlifting, whatever you do where you're getting that really hard session, you feel like you're working hard, you're getting sore, whatever. Those are my intense sessions. My active recovery sessions are gonna be more like my yoga, my hikes, my low intensity bike riding. Even if you just go into the gym and you're like, I'm just gonna do really light like barbell technique work, that could be considered an active recovery session. So if you're a beginner, you're gonna wanna approach this a little bit more differently than an intermediate athlete. So I wouldn't just go head first in trying to do all 8 intense sessions a week. You're gonna wanna start probably with about 3 intense sessions a week, and then you're already probably gonna be walking and moving a lot more than you used to, so that should be plenty to start off with. And those could be whatever you want. Like if you did wanna try CrossFit or you did want to try something a little bit harder, you could. And then as you're going through the 75 days, you can start adding a couple more intense sessions a week. But again, guys, Don't be an asshole to your body. Be smart. So my next tip is actually from a good friend of mine, Christina Luna, who just actually finished her 75 days a couple days ago. And I asked her to give me her #1 tip to helping people start 75 hard, and I'm gonna let her give it to you.
Hey, my name is Christina. I'm a mom of 2, a dental hygienist, and someone who just likes to work out for fun. I recently completed 75 hard. I get a lot of questions sometimes about my biggest tips. What can you tell me that's gonna help me, Christina? And I'd have to say, getting started as early in the day as you can with everything, especially the workouts. The workouts are intended to be about 3 to 4 hours apart. So while it's super convenient to go from one workout to the next, that's not recommended in a 75 hard program. Since we are looking at mental toughness and we're trying to get things outside of our comfort zone, breaking up our trainings into 2 separate trainings is what we aim for. So if you think about that, the earlier that you can start, the better you can fit that in. Also, the water. I know a lot of you out there probably already drink a gallon of water a day, and that's wonderful. I, however, was not one of those people. As a matter of fact, I think I just ran off of coffee most of the time. So to fit in a gallon of water a day was incredibly difficult. It took me almost 2 to 3 weeks to really get used to it. And I did find that sometimes I was still up late trying to finish my water. On those days that I decided to hit the snooze button, or those days I decided I'll just start later in the day, those are the days I was always up late trying to figure out how am I gonna get this done. So luckily you have until you go to bed, and until those eyes close and you fall asleep, you have as much time in that night to get everything done. And I'm guilty of staying up till midnight to finish my water. So I don't wish that upon anyone. So I recommend starting as early as possible to get everything done. And that is my biggest key to success on the 75 Hard program.
Well, hey guys, welcome to my kitchen. A lot like Christina, I also live off of coffee. And if 75 hard would have been coffee free, I probably would have been a hell no for me. But we're gonna talk about diet next. So I think a big thing with the diet is just like your training, you just have to meet yourself where you're at. So I'm gonna talk about like where I was at before I started 75 hard and kind of like where you might be along the spectrum and where you might wanna start. So when I started 75 hard, I was coming off of being really, really sick, and I just was coming back being like completely demotivated, which is really why I started 75 hard. And my diet was absolute garbage. So I think that some days I would eat at least like 3 bags of candy a day, 3 whole multi-serving size bags of candy a day, plus a bag of chips. Me and my fiance would make nachos every night. And I was maybe getting like 30 grams of protein a day, and that was all from like candy and chips, and I really wasn't eating anything good for me at all, like through my entire day. And that's not normal for me, but I just kind of got into a rut. So when I started 75 hard, my diet was so bad that I really didn't have to do much to make it better. So I started pretty simple. So what I did is I did 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So I had to eat about 130 grams of protein a day. I decided that I was gonna focus on getting at least 5 fruits and vegetables a day because I was probably getting close to none before. And I was not gonna be allowing myself that candy, the sweets, chips, any of that stuff that I was really binging on before. And that's how I started. So I took 75 days just to really focus on cleaning up my diet. And then day 40, I switched to Renaissance Periodization, which if you're not familiar with it, I'm gonna put a link down below to like information on their website. And also I have an affiliate link to try out their app. But I switched over that. It's just a little bit more structured. It still kind of has macro counting where I have to get this many grams of protein, carbs, and fats. And I just switched to their maintenance version. I actually dropped the 5 pounds I had gained from being sick during the first 40 days, just cleaning up my diet. So I wasn't really concerned about losing any more weight. I just wanted to get a little bit more structure in my diet, a little bit more clean eating or whatever. So again, meet yourself where you're at. Start simple if you're already not eating clean and eating healthy already. And then as you go, if you want to ramp it up, just like the fitness thing, do that. So my second tip just with nutrition is you have to be prepared. What do they say? If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So that means meal prepping and stuff like that, but also be prepared if you can't meal prep or something like that, because that kind of stuff happens. You just get busy, whatever. So I recommend having some convenience foods that are healthy around. Also, like if you get stuck somewhere, like you're gonna have something in your glove compartment and stuff like that. So we're gonna go over the stuff that I kind of kept in my car. So because my diet was to make sure I was having fruits and vegetables every day, I just found some of these different kind of like veggie chips. Now they don't have the best macros as far as like fat is concerned, but that wasn't like my total concern. My concern was getting fruits and vegetables every day. So this is something that I kept in my glove compartment to make sure I was able to get my 5 servings of fruits and vegetables every day. As far as my protein, because I had that protein requirement, I had some packets of protein powder that I could keep in my glove compartment so that I could just mix these up with water or whatever, just to make sure I was reaching. Because if you don't start getting your protein, just like Christina said, if you don't get that stuff in early in the day, I remember one night I'm like scooping freaking cottage cheese out of the container because I hadn't eaten my protein throughout the day. So this is just kind of keeping me on track in my protein. We also have these protein crisps. Are actually, the macros are really good on these. Are only 90 calories, 10 grams of protein. So that's something else I would keep in my glove compartment. Protein bars. Now this one I would just throw in my bag. They'll melt if I keep in my glove compartment. But just having protein bars, something I would enjoy eating, something that gives me, this has, I don't know, like 16 grams of protein in it. So again, just to keep me on track so I'm not shoveling down cottage cheese while I'm in bed at night. And then as far as having meals at home, now we use Trifecta. So they do like paleo eating plans, they do clean eating plans. They also will do all your food kind of separated so you can count out your old macros. We just do the paleo ones. They're just really easy. They have protein. This is a salmon one and with some sort of vegetables, and you can always add carbs to them if you want more carbs or whatever. You could also just go to Trader Joe's and buy some healthy frozen meals there. But I always recommend having something like this on hand in case you can't meal prep. The other thing I would do is just kind of have a list of healthy options from quote unquote fast food places. Think Chipotle. For here we have a place called Tokyo Joe's that you can get poke bowls from, something like that. So if you absolutely have to get something in a pinch, you already know where to go. So my big tips with diet is meet yourself where you're at. Okay, if you're eating like shit, just eat better, and to always make sure you're prepared and you have a plan. Okay, so next thing we're gonna stay in my kitchen for is gonna be the water intake. And I have one more thing that's gonna go with this that also helps with my diet. This was probably one of the best purchases I ever made. I don't know why I waited to make it. It's my 1 gallon bottle of water, but it gives me little goals throughout the day. So it starts at 7 a.m. I mean, it doesn't matter when you wake up. You can start this whenever you wake up. And it just has these 2-hour goals. So you're making sure you're staying on top of your water drinking throughout the day. And it just helps so you're not chugging down a lot at night. And we're gonna talk about some kind of issues with drinking water like that. So if you are not used to drinking water, which I wasn't, okay? Lived off coffee, just like Christina. And you go from drinking a cup of water a day, or I don't know what I was drinking much, to a whole gallon of water a day, you might feel side effects. You might feel sick, you might feel nauseous, you might be getting headaches. I felt that maybe the first 2 days in, and I realized it's because you can get an imbalance of your electrolyte levels from drinking too much water, ramping your water intake up pretty quickly. So I actually recommend, and this is just something that I take, you can do whatever. This has electrolytes in it. So I recommend taking some sort of kind of electrolyte supplement when you're first starting. And even you can continue as you go if you're training twice a day in the hot weather or whatever. And that's gonna help with some of those kind of side effects. I also recommend just this consistently drinking throughout the day, because you're also gonna get a lot of those problems is if you drink this whole amount within a couple hours. So space your water out throughout the day, get a fancy bottle like this, and have some sort of electrolyte supplement. This I like too. It's from Ascent Protein. It's also a protein water, so it helped me get 20 grams of protein in when I'm getting my electrolytes in too. So that's my tips on water, my tips on diet, and we're gonna move on to the book next. Oh, well, hello there. Welcome to my reading chair. So I'm gonna be giving you some tips today on getting your 10 pages in on 75 hard. So my tip is just to keep books everywhere. Just have lots of books, so many books. A book in your kitchen, a book in your bed, a book in your car. I keep a book in my gym. I even have books on my phone. And the reason for that is you just don't know when you're gonna have time and where you're gonna have time to read. And I also just like to have a variety of books to read. Maybe I'm reading a business book here and a relationship book there and a nutrition book there. So just have a lot of books, keep them everywhere so you can read. Reading Rainbow. I'm gonna go past some of the weird stuff in my house into my bathroom to talk about our last little tip. And the last little tip is, if you can read that right there, it's hard to read, it says progress pick. So my last tip is to set as many reminders as you can. Reminders in your phone, reminders on your mirror, little hair tie around your wrist to remind you to take that progress picture. It's the one thing everybody forgets because it's the easiest thing to do. It set me back. I had 5 days in, I had to restart because I forgot that progress picture. Several reminders in your phone, post-it notes in your car, post-it notes on your mirror, write on your mirror, do whatever you need to do to remind yourself to take that progress picture, because the last thing you want is to have to restart because you forget the progress picture. All right, guys, so we're gonna do a little recap on all those tips for 75 hard. Tip number 1, train smart. Tip number 2, get up early, start early. Tip number 3, your diet. Meet yourself where you're at and plan ahead of time. Number 4, in the water, give yourself hourly goals with a fancy little water bottle. Number 5, have a lot of books, keep them everywhere. Number 6, do not forget the progress picture. Do not forget the progress picture. Do not forget the progress picture. So I hope this helps you with your journey, guys. If you're currently doing the 75 hard challenge, let me know below. I also want to know if you're getting ready to start, if you have any other questions, or if you've already completed a 75 hard. Let me know. So if you're new to my channel, I'm actually a lifestyle channel. Most of my stuff is health and fitness because that's my background, but I also do beauty unboxings. I also do thrifting and antiques. I also do skincare stuff, and I also vlog videos about my pet pigs, and you get to meet them every single day after my videos. So I hope you enjoyed this one. Don't forget to subscribe and give me a like, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Come here. Come here. Franny. Franny, do it up. Up. Good girl. Eddie, do it up. Up. Do it up. All the way up. All the way up. Franny, up. Up. Good girl. Eddie, do it up. Eddie. Up. That's a twirl. Come here. Oh, that was a twirl. Eddie, up. Come here. Eddie, up. Up.